Guys, I Akanksha welcome you all in my YouTube channel BTech Insight. So in this video lecture, we'll get a brief into types of API. So the prerequisite for this video lecture is that everybody should know about API, what is API, how API works. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, you can subscribe it, and if you don't know about what is API, how exactly it's work, you can also refer to my videos on my YouTube channel. Certain videos for API I have linked in this description. You can just check the description below. And so let's start. So before directly going toward the types of API, first we'll discuss what is API. So what exactly API do? For if we have certain software 1 and software 2 made up of two different language, two different services they provide, and we want to create a communication between these two software. Okay, so for that purpose, we use API. For an example, you have certain website, you have an e-commerce website, and now you want to connect with a payment gateway so that the user when comes to your website, they can directly they can directly do the payment. And for the payment gateway, more majorly people go toward the Razor Pay. Okay, so you want to connect your website with the Razor Pay so that you can use the services of Razor Pay in return of certain cost, or that's different thing. Okay, so first, what are you doing? You have certain website, and that website you want to connect directly with the Razor Pay, and for that connection we want API. Okay, for microservices, you have created a microservice application, like you have created certain different modules of your particular website and stored in different location. For their connectivity, you want API. If you want to check something from Google, you want to integrate a specific thing with a certain thing. For that thing also, you want API. You have created certain servers and you want to connect directly to different servers who okay, different servers data that are open source data. Okay, so for that connectivity also you can use API. So this is why you API use. Now we'll come to types of API. There are certain four major kinds of API. First is OpenAI, Partner API, Internal API, and Compose API. So here we'll start with the Open API. So what Open API do? It generally used for open softwares. Okay. So what exactly is, if you have a server, if we have server, okay, let's suppose we have a server of a restaurant. Okay, we have certain no not restaurant, no, we'll take the example of Razor Pay only. There is a server for Razor Pay. It contains lots of information. Okay, it has user data, it has employee data. A Razor Pay server has its employee data, has its certain payment gateway, it has stored its application, lots of data is stored here. Okay, but I have a website who only want to use for the payment purpose. Now what I will use, I only use this much of area of the data. I only want to use the service from the server. I don't want to know how many employees are working in their organization. I don't want to access their web application, their any specific any other service. I only want to use certain area of data. I don't want to use any certain services they have. They maybe they provide different type of services. Okay, they have certain different kind of services for authentication purpose, for authorization purpose, how many user you want to create, for the security perspective, for any other perspective. We only want to use the data for payment purpose. Okay, so for it means only a specific region of the data, only a specific area of the data, only a specific data or specific service we want to access. Okay, so that means I only want to access the service of payment. Like if I will connect directly this to my website. User will come to my your online user will come to my website and they will perform the payment. That's it. I only want to access this service. To access these service, I am using API. In case of open API, there are several servers who has published their data publicly and freely, like weather forecasting. There are several servers who have the services of weather, who has the services of weather forecasting. Like if I have created certain website for, so that when a user will come to my website, they can easily get to know what's the weather will be in next 7 days, or what the weather is today. Okay, that data is freely and openly available for every single individual. What I will do, I just need a API key, and I will connect my website with the API and it will perform well. So this is what open API means for. Open API means for the data that is publicly available for every single individual, and I can connect directly with API. This is also called as public API. Majorly why developers use this kind of open APIs for R&D perspective. As I said, if I have created certain website for weather forecasting, I need a API or a server or specific data, so that the weather forecasting report will directly show to my users. I will what I'll do, I will directly go to I have just directly connected my specific server. Okay, with the help of API, and the data is showing to you. In case of different things, okay, that is open API. The data is openly available and you can use it for different reasons. Now we have partner API. Partner API, it means the perfect example here I can take is for payment gateway. When I am using payment gateway for my website, I need to give certain charges. Okay, I have certain authentications. Like it is not openly available for every single individual, that any individual can come to my uh, Razorpay server and access the data or perform the payment. No, I have certain authority, I have certain authorization. I need to link my bank account with this. I need to provide some KYC details to the Razorpay organization, so that after that they will create my user, authorize me with certain access, and then I can avail that service. Okay, that is partner API. It means I as a person, I am using that particular area of service in exchange of certain uh, amount. I while using a API of Razorpay, by using API payment service from Razorpay, I need to pay them certain amount. Sometimes it is 2% of the transaction. Sometimes it is a particular amount that we need to pay. So this is how we work in partner API. Like I have created a website. Okay, and for weather forecasting, there is some open server, but I don't want to go for the open server because I'm not very sure the server that contain the data for weather forecasting is too much accurate. I want to go for specific server data that is in paid format. I will go and ask them for the API key, that I have a certain website, I want to connect with my website with their server for the forecasting detail. They will create my user after performing certain days, and I need to pay them certain amount, and I can use their API. Okay, this is how it uses internal API. So internal API is used as an organization. Like organization have certain kind of internal application, internal software, like internal reporting web application we have in different organization. They are using internal so many application. Okay, they have certain web application, internal web application where the list of their attendance counts, every single individual need to share its detail. If they want if they want to complain for certain thing, they can directly access to their website. They biometric details, certain details, certain notifications, or meeting details, every single thing that may contain. So it is not necessary that the whole a big amount of software, a big amount of data is stored at a single server. Might be it is possible that it is placed in different area, different geographical reasons. uh, there is different server for India, there is different server for United Kingdom, there is different server for US. Okay, and now all these server is interconnected with each other. Okay, so this is how internal connectivity we are performing. We have certain different servers, certain different application that we want to connect. Okay, internally. So for that connectivity, I required API. Okay, so that's why how internal APIs work. For internal prospectus, for private API, that it is not publicly available, that is not available for external use. Okay, the data, if there is a server, I want to connect that server. If I want to connect that specific service of my server, which is only available for internal use, not for external prospectus. Now I have Composite API. So what it means for, in Composite API, we connect certain API together and work it as one. Okay, so here what exactly do while creating a website, while creating a specific web application, creating certain service, there are lots of API that are connected uh, at each other. Okay, certain I have 10 different servers. Okay, and I want to connect, I want to get the data of all these servers. Okay, from a single region. First, what will gonna happen? First, the API connectivity will perform here, then different regions. Okay, in case I have 10 different services that I want to access from a single area, okay, from a single region, and for that part, I am using a Composite API that a single API will call and want it together. For example, I have a certain website for weather forecasting. Okay, in weather forecasting, in I have 10 different server. In server 1, there is data for today's weather. In server 2, the data is for tomorrow's weather. Then in 10 different server, the data is for 10 different consecutive days. Okay, so now I want the data for next 7 days. This week, what would be the weather this week? So the API call will go to 7 different servers who has the data of 7 different days, will perform the call and get the result back to me on my website all together. Okay, that's called Composite API. So this is how it works. For like if I there are certain e-commerce website who show you the price of 10 different two different clothes at a time. Okay, and there you can perform the comparison. It means the item number one is stored at a different server, item number two is stored at different server, but you are performing the API call at once for both of the things. Okay, so here you can use Composite API. So here there are different kinds of APIs you can use accordingly for your use. If you are using API in your organization, You don't want to share your keys or share your data for external purpose, you can use internal API. If you want to access several different data at once, you can use Composite API. You want to use freely available data for your R&D purpose or any of the reason, you can use open API. If you want to perform, if you need to purchase certain service from different application, from different servers, that time you need to do a partner API. You need to be a partner for them to avail their service. Okay, so that's all from so in this video we have learned for types of API. So if you have any certain question, you can just ask directly in my comment section. I will answer you for that question. Till then, stay tuned and stay alive ahead.